Hello guys, and welcome back to another Hunter's Prestige fitment video. On today's video we're going to show you how to fit Hunter's Prestige extended arches. Now this is the same video and same installation process for both our Raptor arches and also the standard extended arches. Now it's good to mention that to fit these you do need a heat treated room, so normally quite a warm environment you can fit them in a garage, or alternatively use heat lamps, but you cannot fit these outside or in cold conditions. Now our arches are manufactured and produced by ourselves. These are our own arches and our own moulding, so they are different to what is on the market, and the paint finish on these is absolutely excellent. Now it is good to mention that we use the tape method. We do not use any silicone. Some other suppliers do supply the arches and actually fit them with silicone. We follow the same process as Land Rover and only apply tape, mainly because if you want to remove the arches at a later date at any point, you don't damage the paint in any way. So let's get started on today's installation video.
So before we get into it, we just want to mention the preparation work that goes into every arch that we send out. So before we actually send any wheel arches out, whether it's the Raptor arches or our standard extended arches, we prep the hell out of them. So as you can see here, all of our wheel arches are hard polished and then super resin polished prior to going out to make sure there's no imperfections and it's the best possible paint that you can get. A lot of other aftermarket suppliers do supply them, but not a lot of people put this much work into them. So we're actually rubbing down the back of the arch here prior to applying any tape on there as well. So Jane's just going over it with 2500 grit sandpaper at the moment to make sure it's nice and etched. He's already pre-applied the promoter, which acts like a bonding agent for the 3M tape, and then he's hand applying the 3M tape and rubbing it down, make sure it's nice and firmly stuck. So all the arches come with the 3M promoters and also the cleaning sachets that are required, as well as a full range of clips for every single arch, whether it's a 90, 110 or 130. Tools required for this installation: you're going to need a heat gun, you're going to need masking tape, you're going to need a pick, metal trim tool, plastic trim tool, some polish and a polisher. So we start off just by removing the front wheel arches. So we didn't show in this video, but if you just use a plastic trim tool and lightly pry away that arch to release the clip, that is the only thing holding on these wheel arches, is these white trim clips. They're all the way around. They're nice and easy to take off sometimes. If it is an older vehicle, it can be quite tricky, so you might need a little bit of patience. But as you can see, this is it without all of the trims. Now we're going to remove the rear trim from the rear door. Obviously, if you've got a 90 Defender, you won't have this, but they come off quite easily. They are these small retaining clips all the way around. And these are the clips on the back of the front arch, like so. Sometimes these do break, but obviously we're not going to be reusing those clips because we do supply new clips with all the wheel arches. We're just going over it now and just cleaning that surface with some soap and water and a microfiber. And we're removing the rear arch now. So the easiest way to do it is pull it from the inside of the door, and then all the clips do come off quite easily on the rear. Some of the trim clips do remain in there, so you will need to use a trim tool to actually take them out, like so. Be nice and gentle with it. You can use a metal trim tool or a plastic one. Again, we're not going to reuse any of those clips. So we're just going to clean up the rear end now using the soapy solution and microfiber. Just removing any dirt which is on the body of the vehicle straight away. And we'll show you the next process to follow. So as you can see here, we've actually removed the clips from these wheel arches. We're actually going to use them as a stencil to line up the masking tape all the way around. And this is because we are going to polish and also add promoter to the vehicle. So we polish mainly if you have ceramic coat, but we do also polish on every single vehicle that has these arches fitted in-house. That makes sure there's no ceramic coating or anything that is going to be a repellent of the 3M tape. And of course, we also clean it up very, very nicely prior to applying it, so it has the maximum hold for the 3M tape. So as you can see, it's all masked up. We're going to follow that same process on the rear arch. Again, it might look slightly different if you have a 90 or a 130 Defender. I'm just going to mask up that top line here again. You can apply a little bit of masking tape at the bottom of the arch if you really need to. The 3M primer for the 3M tape does stain the vehicle, so we're quite lucky this is a white car, but we could show you in a different prep video what it looks like if you actually go over that line when you're masking. Then install the rear door arch as well. mask that up. Sometimes quite tricky to do by yourself, so it might be useful to have a second set of hands to be able to help you do it. Now we're going to go over the car with some fast cut polish. That is to remove any ceramic coating and also any dirt or any chemicals that are left in the vehicle. We do that on all of the arches. So that is why we mask up, because if you do have a ceramic coat fitted to the vehicle, obviously you don't want to take that off the rest of the vehicle. So we mask up nicely so we know what areas we need to remove it. Remove the polish, and then using the 3M cleaner wipes that we provide, we're just going to go over all the areas that we've polished and remove any chemicals left or any polish remaining on the vehicle. This is similar to an acetone, so it will remove any chemicals. Now we're going to reinsert all the clips to the arches, like so. And we're going to pry the red tape off the back of the 3M. Now we're not going to fully remove this red tape. What we're actually doing is prying it off slightly and actually making like a mask stick on the back of it, like little tags, so that when we install these arches, the tape doesn't instantly bond to the vehicle. So we do this on each end of the wheel arch where there is tape. Sometimes for security reasons we do it on both ends, just in case the arch is a little bit tight and that red tape snaps, you can still actually remove it from either side. So it should now look like this, with all the clips installed and the tape's tagged. Next up, we're going to get our 3M adhesive promoter. Now we're going to use a can because we use this promoter quite regularly for illustration purposes. Obviously, we show you what this sachet looks like, but you just want to put the promoter nice and evenly all the way around the inside mark of that masking tape, a little bit at the bottom, basically anywhere on the vehicle where the red 3M tape is actually going to get contact with the vehicle. So put that generously all the way around. Now, the reason we masked up all of the arches at the same time is so we can apply that promoter absolutely everywhere. Sometimes them 3M wipes do dry up really quickly, so it's best to mask up all of the areas first. Next up, we're going to use the heat gun just to bring that panel up to temperature. Normally 3M bonds best at 23 degrees. We're also going to heat up the arch as well. So with the red tape still on, we're just going to heat that up because it does need warm conditions to actually apply the tape. Now all the clips are in, we're now about to install the front arch. So that's making sure that the front tags and the rear tag of the front arch is in the guides where it needs to be, and pushing in all the clips, making sure every clip is in, and then just checking the outside line just to make sure it's nice and flush. Now you can remove those tags that we made with the masking tape on the 3M tape and remove the backing. Make sure you've removed all of it. And once that's done, you can now start pushing the arch down. Now, there is a process that we use where we push down very, very hard, very firmly all the way around the arch. And then we also lift up and then push the arch in like so, just to make sure it is in the correct position and it bonds really well. Do this all the way around. Pushing in again nice and firmly, just check that all those clips are in. We do need them to fully engage. Okay, and we're using clamps here. Obviously we don't expect our retail customers to have clamps at home, but we fit these on a regular basis, and these are Sealy windscreen clamps. We'll put a link in the comment section below, just if you guys do want to purchase some. They also don't come with a foam tape, so we put a bit of foam just to protect it, but then we do that mainly to leave them overnight. We do recommend once an arch is installed not to actually wash it for 72 hours. There we go, so we now clean up the rear as well. So following the process on both sides as well, just want to clean using the 3M sachet, clean the sachet, which is like an acetone. Then we're going to peel off the tape on the backing of the 3M. Again, making sure you're not removing the backing of that 3M tape fully. You You just want to make it so you can remove it a lot easier. Obviously, once you clip in those clips, you're not going to be able to take that red tape back off again. And we do only provide enough clips for each arch. So if you do use them, accidentally install and then have to remove it, you may break some clips. So we do recommend following the process step by step. That way you don't break any clips. We install the white clips and then also the grey clips as well. Okay, and you're using the promoter again, nice and generously on there. Again, if you have got the sachets, you don't have a tin like we do in-house, you would want to promote every single arch whilst that sachet is nice and wet still. Please don't leave it out because it will dry up. Then we're just going to heat up the arch and also the body panel as well, just getting up to right temperature. Best way to check is using the back of your hand, because your back of your hand never lies with temperature, your fingertips do. So make sure it's nice and warm prior to installing the arch. Once it's ready, you're going to push that arch into position, make sure all the clips are engaged and the tags are in there properly. Then we're going to remove the 3M backing, like so. And again, we're going to push quite hard just to make sure it's got a nice and firm grip. Doing the same process of lifting the arch up and then pushing it in towards the arch. Again, installing our Sealy clamps here. We had this vehicle overnight, so we put these arches on, and then we actually left the clamps on for maximum hold as well, so the vehicle could be taken away the next following day. Obviously, a lot of people don't have these, so we don't expect you to use them, but you can actually alternatively use masking tape and just pull it up to create a bit of a firm hold, just to hold them in place whilst they set. And again, it's a simple process, applying the promoter onto the arch inside the masking tape line, applying it very generously, then remove that blue tape prior to heating it up. So make sure it's at the right temperature, and also heating up the back of that tape as well. There's a little guide on the rear door panels as well, which go in just there. And then these retainers all the way up that door panel. It can be quite hard to get these in sometimes, so give it a good whack just to make sure it's firmly in place. And then once you're sure that all those clips are engaged, you can then remove the tape. Push down firmly again, make sure that they're very well in place and it's a nice and clean finish. These rear door arches do have a little seal on them, sometimes can come off, so you do need to be careful. If it does pop out, it should look like this. So the arch actually goes over that seal, so if it does pop out in the installation, make sure you put that rubber seal back in.
So there you go guys, the 110 Raptor arches have been installed on this 110 in Fuji White. We get asked quite regularly, when you've added the arches, do you need to add wheel spacers? Yes and no. Yes, we add wheel spacers mainly for visual aesthetics of the car. We don't normally add wheel spacers on the front, we only add them on the rear. The main reason, if most of our customers go for 22-inch wheels, and with AT tyres, which 285 by 45 by R22, you will get a little bit of rubbing on the front if you add 25mm spacers. So we don't usually add any spacers at the front of the car. But if you've got standard 20-inch wheels, you can do so. It's always good to check regarding the wheel spacers if you are going to get any rubbing with us prior. That way you get the best fitment. But at the same time, you do not necessarily need to add wheel spacers, because our arches do follow the same fitment and design aspects as the Land Rover intended arches were. And of course, Land Rover do not supply front or rear spacers within their vehicles. So that is the end of today's fitment video. If you guys have any questions in regards to fitting the extended arches, please let us know or contact our sales team. As always guys, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe and hit that bell notification to stay up to date with what we're doing here at Hunters. See you in the next fitment video.